Thom kali ini. Oh, ini dia 3 lawan 3 Profesor Prof Haye.
Welcome back to The Highway. I'm Neal Peterson, and today we have a very, very, very special episode because we have a guest who's returning in the studio. But before we start, this podcast is sponsored by our friends of Rexona because the big match is coming up. Timnas is ready to be back in action. Intense training, pressure, heat, and a sweat on the pitch. There's no room for distraction. That's why I count on Rexona. 72 hours non-stop protection that keeps me fresh and cool match after match. Now it's your turn to bring the same energy for the next match. Support Timnas to the fullest. Show your support loud and proud. And stay fresh and confident with Rexona. Because real fans don't quit and Rexona freshness won't let you down. Lanjut, Terus, didukung, Timnas, apapun yang Terjadi Bersama Rexona. Prof Haye Approved. So, we're ready for the episode.
Goeie.
Thank you so much. Back in the studio, Mr. Sergio van Dijk.
Hi.
And normally we have an applause, so I'll do it by myself.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, back in the studio.
Yes.
And first thing, I need to take some Bahasa Indonesia lessons, huh?
Yeah, I think you're doing it okay, but the pronunciation might be...
A little bit better.
could be
And
a
my
little bit
teacher is
better.
watching. Vida, I'm so sorry. I'll step up my game for the next couple of weeks. And maybe I can do some episodes or some lessons in Jakarta. But you're back.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, we had a great time. Of course, during the game against Australia, the result was terrible, but we had a great time together. And if people are asking, where's Thom? Because we said the last time we should do this with Thom.
Mm-hmm.
Thom is already in Bali, getting ready for the next game. We're still here in the Netherlands. So we promised the third time. Third time we do it with Sergio, Thom will be here. After that episode against Australia, that game against Australia, they won against Bahrain.
Yes.
I think it's 3 months ago.
Yeah, already, yeah.
Yeah. How's life? Apa kabar?
Yeah, bike. Yeah, no, everything is going well. Excited to see how it unfolds for Indonesia in this few coming weeks. It's that's something that is playing on my mind, I guess, for everyone in Indonesia, I guess.
Yeah, and like during the live viewing party we did, I already said to you we should do a podcast more about your story because during a game like that, you're more focusing on the game. But did you enjoy the live viewing party?
Yeah.
With all the reactions.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's even though you're far away, it still feels that you are interacting with the other supporters, and also we were in the studio just cringing our toes with everything that happened. So no, it was great, a great experience.
You got a lot of reactions, I saw.
Yeah. No, it was great. Yeah, unfortunately, the result, as you said, wasn't the best, but we are still in the race. So let's hope for the World Cup.
Yeah, and I was thinking, of course, here in the studio, but I also see you do a lot of media in Indonesia. Is that something you're aiming at in the future, being a commentator or an analyst?
Something like that. In this particular case, I have a short connection with Patrick Kluivert, obviously, because I worked with him in Brisbane as an assistant coach. So, for Football Indonesia, I was the closest to Patrick Kluivert before he came here. And they asked me a lot of questions about him, about his style and stuff. So there were a couple of times that I had to join a primetime news cast.
What do you like the most about it?
Just to share experiences. You have to understand that in Indonesia, the football in Europe or football, the stars of football that we regularly see here on TV. But even if we want, we can go to Manchester or to Liverpool to see Salah on 50 meters away, or maybe even through connections we can meet him. For Indonesian people, that's impossible. And then to have someone like Patrick Kluivert, who was a big star in his days at Barcelona and the Dutch national team, to have someone that knows him and used to work with him that's important news for them.
Yeah, you follow a lot of football, eh?
Yeah, of course. Especially also still Indonesia because
Liga Baru.
Everything, like here in Holland, but also everything that happens in Indonesia is interesting because for me, after being there for a couple of years, I would like to see it develop, and I think there's potential, and I guess that's a little bit my goal that I would like to see happen.
Yeah, because to be honest, you're already really, really busy. We'll talk about that a little bit later because you have a special connection with work, also with Indonesia.
Yeah.
But it's next Thursday, first game, home game against China.
Yeah.
They lost in China.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember of that game?
Silly mistakes, or how you say it, mistakes. Personal mistakes. So individual mistakes by Indonesia themselves, and sometimes going forward a little bit too optimistic, losing the ball and being out of position, and sometimes you're a little bit unlucky, but those things happen in football. The current situation is you have to win against China because I think the possibility is there to win against them, especially now with all the new additions like Romani on the midfield, Joey Pelupesi. I think we are stronger now, and I hope than the previous game against China. So I hope we can get a good result, especially and also with all the fans in Indonesia. Man, that's also a big help.
I feel really blessed that I'm going to the game
again.
Again. No, really. And then people say, or sometimes I say to people, it's work, but it's a stupid answer. It's the best thing I experienced the last couple of years being at GBK against Bahrain. Now even it's going to be more intense because if you win, you're into the next round. You qualified for the next round. But and I remember the away game of China, they were really defending with a lot of people behind the ball. Thom scored. He came off the bench.
Correct.
So and I think that's also what I discussed with Thom. It's not people are not underestimating China, but it's not going to be easy. It's a very, very tough opponent.
True. But even though saying that, I still
with the
think
home, everyone.
I still think we have a big chance, but we have to make sure that individual mistakes that we cancel them out, and that's easier said than done. I mean, and individual mistakes, that's something that you can. It's not like a tactical thing that you have to train with your whole team. It's something like, okay, you have to be more focused or watch out that you don't lose sight of the attacker, even though we are attacking ourselves. So I guess there was also a little more time to improve, and also now with the training camp, they can. I assume they get better and better.
Yeah, talking about the
time.
Training camp in Bali, it looks fantastic. It's new, eh?
It's pretty new.
Have you been there already?
No, not yet. Not yet.
But I think the preparation, they have a lot of time now together. Can you tell us what that means for a team? Being longer together.
I think some things take time, even though they are good players or at a good level. Getting used to each other, the playing style of the team. You need time you can't speed that up. You can't say okay, let's get it done in 2 days. Now it just takes time, and sometimes it takes some hard lessons like a loss, and then you can see what you have to do to make it better. And you also need time to. Not all players have played together before in the Netherlands, and you need time to adjust to each other, get to know each other a little bit better, and especially on training camps, that's what happens. You have to discuss about, hey, what do you like, and what do you don't like, and then you say oh, you like that as well, and then you already have a connection for on the pitch.
And you get surprised by people. I think I don't know who said it after the game against Bahrain, that people were really impressed with Rido. From the technical staff. or the coaching staff, because they knew his potential, but how he played against Bahrain. And that's also, you're getting new experiences. You're seeing players during training, but also in matches when it really counts. How they adjust to all the weather, the tension, you know.
Especially, you know, you cannot compare the pressure or the tension that you have in these games for Timnas, because if you look in the Netherlands, if you play for your club in the Netherlands, there are 17 million people in the Netherlands in total, you know. So one club has a part of those 17 million. Let's say it's 1 million or 2 million. Yeah, but that's nothing in comparison to the 270 million almost that are watching your Timnas game. And you can imagine that if you have to take a penalty and you think about, all these people are watching me, I can imagine
we discussed it with the penalty of Kevin.
I can imagine that's a little bit different.
So we discussed it already in the viewing party, but you of course played for Timnas. Who was your coach during that time?
Back then I had a couple of coaches, because it wasn't as clear as it was as it is now with Pa Erik Thohir, who is now the chairman of the PSSI. Back then, it was it changed a lot. And I had Rahmat Darmawan, I think the current coach of Barito Putra, was my head was a coach. I think when I just came in, there was this Argentinian coach.
You don't know his name anymore? You're getting older.
Or he was just not significant enough.
I think the second.
No, so I had him, and I also had Coach Alfred Riedel, who was also a success coach in 2010, before I entered Timnas. So I had a couple.
But that's so weird. You played how many games? 4 or 5?
Yeah, something like that. I did a tournament, AFC Asian Cup. In Vietnam I played. I had some qualifications, but it was also because the PSSI got suspended by FIFA back then, because of, if I can't remember clearly anymore. I think because of 2 leagues that they had in Indonesia, and you know, it's something like that.
But the most important game, or the most memorable game,
of course
against the Netherlands, Oranje. So it must be so weird for you playing against guys you really know really well, because you played against them also in the league. But who did you swap jerseys with?
With Arjen Robben, obviously, because
you did.
He is my teammate in Groningen, so that was an easy connection. So I swapped with him, I guess, at the end of the game or something, because I think he was on the bench. He came on. And
he was already a superstar, right?
Oh, yeah. And during the
2013?
13. Wait, let me think.
The year for the World Cup, right?
Yeah, the year for.
So he won the championship the year before with Bayern.
Yeah, so he was a massive superstar, and I remembered that when he came on, he scored a goal. Everyone was like cheering as if we scored the goal, you know, like so excited. No, but I swapped jerseys with him, and I think John Heitinga.
Oh, he was he was marking you, right?
Yeah. During the game.
So you got 2 jerseys.
Yeah, 2. I still have them in somewhere in a box.
Really?
Saved them. Yeah, of course.
Oh, you didn't frame them?
Yeah, not yet. Because not yet. It was just a while ago now. We are 12 years further, but that's something. Coincidentally, I discussed that with my wife a couple of days ago. Like, we should buy these frames.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but we just moved house, so there's an excuse.
So did you do something after the game with the guys of the national team?
We went to. I think they stayed at Hotel Shangri-La in Jakarta, and we went there to visit them and had some drinks in the bar and stuff. Yeah. Dirk Kuyt van Persie was there as well. All the guys.
It's so funny because Siem de Jong was also on the team.
Yeah,
and
correct.
He texted me a couple of weeks ago that
he was there as well.
He said he has so many good memories of Indonesia. He played there with Ajax.
I think against Persib.
Yeah. So he said maybe we should do a podcast. He has a podcast now with Daily Blind.
Oh, cool.
So he said maybe we should do one because he said I would love to know more about Indonesia. I
Mhm.
think he had such a good experience.
Yeah.
But talking about Arjen Robben, that's the connection because you started FC Groningen.
Mhm.
At which age?
I think back then you called it C1.
So that's the under 15s?
14, I guess. I
Oh,
think
under
I
14.
or under 15. Nowadays they changed all these.
So maybe
things.
good for people in Indonesia to explain. You have you start when you're 6.
Yeah.
Nowadays maybe some earlier or 4. I see.
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
And then that's at the amateur.
Yeah.
And when you're a good player like Sergio, you get picked up. And then
they scout you.
but what was your first amateur club?
LTC Assen. So back then we had the best youth development youth teams in the northern part of the Netherlands. Yeah. So I played there with some guys. Also made it to professional soccer player as a professional. Yeah, Jordi Hoogstraat. Yeah. He came there one season because he was from a small village. So he moved.
Yeah, he came from what's the
Annen.
Annen.
Yeah. And then he came. Jos Hooiveld, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Also, he played there as well.
What's in the water there?
Yeah, I don't know. Dominique van Dijk, Gregor van Dijk, same name, but now family.
Yeah.
And I think back then we went with 10 players at once after one season. We went with 10 players. We moved to FC Groningen. And the funny thing is, like, for that region, the father of our national team coach, Ronald Koeman, Martin Koeman was like the head scout for youth. You know,
he scouted me.
Oh yeah. You see,
that's my proudest moment in my life.
Yeah. Martin Koeman. Yeah, exactly.
Because for the people in Indonesia, Ronald Koeman is the head coach. Of course, a lot of people know Ronald Koeman. His older brother, Erwin Koeman. And they played also at FC Groningen. Yeah. And their dad was Martin Koeman.
Yeah, I also played at FC Groningen.
Yeah.
And he is like an icon of the club. And he scouted.
One of the stands is named after him now at FC Groningen.
Yeah, I think so.
Martin Koeman.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it went easily for you during the...
No, I was, you gradually grow. I was a left midfielder, I was...
Really?
Yeah. I had a really good pass, so I could cross very good, could shoot, good control of the ball. And, I always felt like, I can play, but nothing special. I was more serving the other players that could, who were more agile on the ball, who could dribble, who could score. And... so I got picked for the regional team. You have like in the region, my province that I live in is Drenthe.
Oh, it was Drenthe.
Yeah. So I got in this regional team, and then that's for the better players in amateur teams. And then I saw all these other players got interest from FC Groningen. They were already a year older, and then like Dominique van Dijk, who was a year older than I am, or 2 years, and they accidentally sent a letter for him from FC Groningen to my address because Van Dijk, and I got it, and then I thought like, I want that as well, and this is such a shame. But a couple of weeks later, I got a letter as well, but then from another second division club in the northern, Veendam. Yeah. And I said to my dad was also my coach and was also in the amateur club that I played at. He had another role as well. And I said, I want to go to Veendam because that was almost like FC Groningen. And he said, nah, you don't go. And I was so sad because he already heard that FC Groningen also had interest in me and all other players, but he didn't want to tell because he wasn't sure yet. And then later, FC Groningen came, and I had to go like it's some kind of trial for a year, So you go every Wednesday, you go to Groningen, train, and after a year they say, okay, you can stay or not. And in the end, it was I could stay, so that was great, and that's where I met. The wonder kid from Groningen, Arjen Robben.
Yeah. Well, do you know your first experience with him?
Yeah, of course, man. It was just a little boy with blonde hair, and he was always dribbling, like already at that age, like just sometimes you think like that's too much, man. You should
And
play
he
the
just
ball.
kept going.
Yeah, but he just kept going, like focused only on that. And I have this photo. I think it's also on my Instagram account. And the first tournament that I played with FC Groningen was somewhere in Deventer or something, Schalkhaar. I became best player of the tournament. So, but I was already like 14, but little bit big and strong, and I could shoot like hard. And I have this photo of this. I hold this trophy of best player, and then you see next to me a little boy, blonde guy who's looking at me like,
Really?
yeah.
And that's
Arjen Robben. Yeah. That's really cool. So funny.
Yeah, but you were always known as one of the biggest talents in Holland because, like, during that period, the internet was non-existing and social media was non-existing. So you heard stories.
Correct.
Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And you made your debut.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I think 17 or 18. I think I was 17, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so. Sorry, it's too long ago. It's like almost the past century.
No, it was the past century.
Yeah, right? 1999, I guess. Yeah.
So but it's just a funny story. If you see where you started and where you ended in Holland. With Pelikanes.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that, but. Do you still have a special connection with FC Groningen if you started your career?
In a way, yes. In another way, not really. Because I also played for another club near my city, FC Emmen, and there I had more success. So you have my feeling is a little bit stronger with them then. But I like to go back to Groningen every now and then. But it's not that I say like, okay, I'm there every week or something.
No. But so you had 2 weeks ago the Eredivisie was decided by Groningen.
Yeah.
Do you support Groningen then, or are you for other teams?
It's not that I then support Groningen. I loved what happened because I think football should not be always the same. Not always Barcelona that wins. Not always. So I'm excited. I like underdog stories. So
I was watching with our colleague Kenneth.
Yeah.
And Kenneth is for AZ.
Oh yeah.
I'm for FC Groningen.
Oh,
and we were in a bar with I think 150 Ajax supporters in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And then the goal fell, and then Kenneth he was punching me like that. As a Kenneth, I cannot celebrate here. We were so happy.
Yeah.
And then we had a pizza later, and it was a great night because we were so happy what happened.
Yeah, unbelievable. And also what happened in the week before that with PSV playing at Feyenoord, coming behind.
Eredivisie season.
And to be honest, I know a lot of people dislike Noah Lang for his attitude or whatever, but I thought it was great what happened,
I think people in Indonesia, I know they watch a lot of Premier League. I know they watch Serie A.
Yeah.
I think they should watch more Eredivisie. It's a really cool league. And that's not saying because I'm living here, but it's a really cool league where a lot of things happen.
True. True.
I think from the 18 teams, I think 14 or 12 teams were still fighting for your playoffs. Fighting against relegation, playing for the title. In the last couple of rounds.
Exactly. And then on the last day or the last 2 game days, Ajax just gave it away. Against NEC.
And the coach is gone now.
Yeah.
But maybe also a funny story. I don't know if we did it in the live viewing party. But Sergio gave me the advice. I was on trial by FC Groningen and playing in the second team with Sergio, Anton Jongsma, and I forget always you two. And then afterwards in the locker room, and Sergio, he looked at me and said, do you have other options? I said, I can go to FC Utrecht, Sparta. I said, go there. I said, but I like, go there. Why would you come here? And later on, like 20 years later, you explained to me that you were done, you got a chance and we're not playing anywhere. You're playing with the second team. And I thought, oh my God, he's such a good player. And I didn't listen to you. I went to
that's okay. That's okay. You made your choice on the knowledge that you had back then. So it's but that's always the thing, in hindsight, I can say like, it's not, I was also looking after myself, mostly all football players do. So,
But the funny thing is that like it was, I think, 2000.
yeah,
Because
correct.
yeah.
2000. Yeah.
Because in 2001 I signed for Groningen, and then so it's now 25 years later, and we're sitting here.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So weird.
Yeah. And but how was your time over there then for you?
So I signed like a 2-year deal then, and so I was supposed to play like in the second team and then on the 19s, but then Arjen's dad, he was my teacher in school.
Oh, okay,
He was also the coach from the under 19s, so I had a good connection with him, and but then he decided at the end of the season, I'm quitting. I'm only focusing on Arjen.
Yeah.
So and then I got a different coach.
Yeah. Who was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say.
Yeah, of course I can
Hans
say.
Schrijver or who?
Barend Beltman.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's my favorite coach.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you know what happened? They got me as a number 10.
Yeah.
And he didn't play me as a number 10.
Oh yeah, that's.
So I'll tell you this story. So
Yeah.
he didn't play. He played me as left midfielder, right winger. So okay. What happened? He got a surgery in pre-season. You know who took over for one game? Martin Koeman.
Oh,
the guy
really?
who scouted me.
Yeah.
So Martin came to me and he said, Neal, we were playing against Veendam for the cup. He said, Neal, you'll be on the bench the first half, but listen, second half, you'll play on number 10. You will get a chance. Okay, thank you. So I played, scored 4 times in 18 minutes on number 10. So I thought, hey, this was my chance.
Yeah.
Next game, coach is back. We play against Ajax, a friendly. And we were always playing 4-3-3.
Yeah.
We played 4-4-2. He said, Neal, so, okay, you think you got a chance on number 10? Show me. And I thought, yeah, but in a 4-4-2, the number 10 position is different.
Yeah.
So after half.
Oh.
Yeah, so it wasn't that. And I really struggled. I went... next to the stadium, you had the building. You remember? Where
I used to live there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was in school in Heerenveen, and it was too much to travel from Assen, Groningen.
And I thought it was
internaat.
Internaat. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't adjust. So after a couple of months, I said to Groningen.
Which room was yours?
So you come in.
Yeah.
I think the 4th in the back.
Yeah, from like in the corner.
Yeah, in the corner.
Yeah. I had the one as well. Yeah. But on this side or on the opposite side?
No, not on the side of the street. On the stadium side.
Oh no, I was on the other side.
Because there was a guy. He was the biggest talent of the team.
Yeah.
He was selling cigarettes through that window. But he was the biggest guy because he came from Ajax.
Yeah.
And then he was just bored, and later I heard they were selling cigarettes.
Oh,
but
my God.
Hey,
okay.
To be honest, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me. I think, to be honest, I'm just looking at your career.
Yeah.
This would be a career for me because there's a lot of adventure in it.
Yeah.
Like I played in Austria a year, in the States. I played college. That's with my abilities. I think the maximum I achieved, and I'm really happy what I'm still doing with football, and sports.
But I think that's also the most important thing in someone's career or in anything that you do is that if you can reach your ceiling, your top, I think that's the most valuable thing that you can get for your personal life, because it's always a shame if your ceiling is here but you only reach halfway. So
the only thing is that Peter Jeltema, Veldmaat, Martin Koeman, they always said you're going to reach the first team. But I had never that belief. I thought I was just playing football and I enjoyed it, but I never thought I would, like Jordi Hoogstraten, the guy we talked before. I was playing with him. I thought, oh my God, this is a next level. This is going to be a little bit in crowd for the people in Indonesia, all of the Dutch names. So because looking at your career, this is a career, I think, looking back at it, you got everything out of it.
Yeah, that's what I believe as well. So I am also very happy with where I've been. And
because we have to talk about Persib, of course, but you were also a really big guy in Australia, at Brisbane. I'm saying myself. I had some good seasons over there. I think 2 seasons in a row I finished second on the top scorer list, and then one season I became the top scorer of the league. So
yeah, you know,
Select
that's
for the All-Star game, I think.
yeah, and that's just the most for me that how you say it propelled my career, like because I got known in Indonesia, obviously, but also in Asia, and for me that was the best step that I could have made in my career. And the funny thing is that I just did it on my gut feeling.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Like nowadays, a lot of people move around the world.
Yeah.
But then it's like 2008.
Yeah,
You went to Brisbane Roar.
yeah.
Not a lot of players were playing there, right?
The thing was, I was at Emmen, and I already played I think 6 seasons in the Eerste Divisie, so the second tier of the Dutch professional football leagues. And you know, I had in my first season in Emmen. So I was at Helmond Sport first. That was my first Eerste Divisie club where I really start playing. Also, a coach came in my last season over there, Ruud Brood, and I didn't play anymore. So my career was going up to
Hey, we should
nowhere.
thank you, Ruud,
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruud.
But
Terima kasih, Ruud.
yeah, but that's but that's why I say, you know, you can't say already like, oh no, that's something bad, because that season gave me like a feeling of I have to fight for what I am worth.
Yeah.
So the next season I went to Emmen on, you know, like a small contract, happy that I could go back close to my hometown. Also with a coach that I used to work with who believes in me. And then 6 months later, I'm on the top of the top score table, you know, from not playing, and then everything went up again. But after, you know, there were talks of, oh, maybe I would move to Eredivisie club, and nothing ever happened. Then I thought, like, I want to, as a football player, you can work and you can see the rest of the world, because almost everywhere there's a football club. But my thought back then was like, okay, I can go to Germany or England, maybe. I had an offer from RBC. I already spoke with them, but I thought it was too far away.
That's in the south of
in the
Holland.
south of Holland, like all the way in the corner, south of Holland. But then I went to Australia. No, and the thing was also, I had to come on trial. So I went there on trial.
Really?
Yeah.
You had to fly all the way to Australia?
Yeah, they paid everything. So they already had a Brazilian striker that was a second one. They had one, and they already flew in another
because
one.
I remember
on the trial. They already verbally agreed with him.
They had Romario also played in the 80s.
In Adelaide, yeah.
That's
as
what
well.
I thought you were referring to him.
No.
Romario, Sergio van Dijk.
That was also my second club in Australia, Adelaide. But he scored his 1,000th goal, I think, in his career in Adelaide.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. But long story short, so I went to Brisbane on trial. They already verbally agreed with this Brazilian. And how I made this decision, I got this option to go there on a trial. So my agent back then, Hakim Slimani, he knew, I think, one of the owners of the club, because it's a Dutch club. So there was also a Dutch owner. Mm. And he said, you can go there on trial. They pay everything. So I went there on trial, and I was on fire. Like, everything was going well on training. I even had to do a friendly game against my own team. So I played with an Australian amateur team against my own team to then you can see this and I scored, obviously, a couple of goals.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And then in other friendlies I scored also, and they got rid of the Brazilian that they already verbally agreed, and I signed.
He got to go back to Brazil.
Yeah, he had to go back to Brazil, and I signed. And that's a little bit the thing that I believe in, also trusting your gut feeling on what you have to do.
And how was it, the adjustment to the lifestyle in Australia? And
I think
the weather.
Yeah, I used to hate pre-seasons in the Netherlands, because there was already like 26, 27 degrees, and I would say Australia, like, too hot. And now over there, there's no choice. You have to go. You know, like you have to accept the weather, how hot it is, how humid. Your shirt was like sticking to your body. And then, in the end, I got used to it. And I had a struggle at the start, but afterwards it was the best decision of my life.
Yeah, talking about sticky stuff and everything. We'll talk about Persib in just a moment. But if you have sticky clothes and stuff, this is the answer. Rexona, because the big match is coming up. Timnas is ready to be back in action. Intense training, pressure, heat, and a sweat on the pitch, like Sergio in the past. There's no room for distraction. That's why I count on Rexona. 72 hours non-stop protection that keeps me fresh and cool match after match. Now it's your turn to bring the same energy for the next match. Support Timnas to the fullest. Show your support loud and proud. Stay fresh and confident with Rexona. Because real fans don't quit and Rexona freshness won't let you down. Lanjut, Terus, didukung Timnas, apapun yang terjadi bersama Rexona. Prof Haye Approved. Was it already better?
Yeah, it was already a little bit better.
All right. So we talked about Australia, had a great time, and then you land in Indonesia.
Yeah, because I wanted to become international, and
that was the idea already behind it.
Yeah. Because I got someone got in touch with me from goal.com, Bima Said. A big thank you to Bima, obviously, because he sparked this whole. Really? Interest. Yeah. Like,
he was a journalist.
Yeah, journalist, and he said like, oh yeah, in Australia there's someone with Indonesian background. He's scoring goals. He's on fire. Blah blah. And then I got interest from PSSE, and I also got interest from Persib Bandung. And then I thought like, yeah, maybe this is a chance for me to enter Asia.
Yeah.
And I went to. Persib, yeah.
How was
also,
it? What do you remember your first experience?
Yeah, man, it was so big, so huge. I didn't expect it to be that big, because that's also what if I tell people who haven't been there, they cannot make an imagination of it. Because also what I said here in Europe, these countries are so small that you don't have this immense support from fans. I mean, Persib is in a province, Jawa Barat, so West Java. Like 50 million inhabitants, that's already
same as Holland.
No, 50. Yeah, so that's already 3 times more, a little bit more even, and they are mostly supporting Persib. So you can imagine like all the things that happen for football, and there's everything around Persib. There are like 4 or 5 newspapers every day. There's something. This player is sick. Oh, this player has his short is too long. Just all the kinds of news there.
He needs to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Because I saw shout out to Mark Klok.
Yeah.
I was following after they become back-to-back champions.
Yeah.
Of course, the 90th title in their history, or the 4th since the professional era. So are you still following?
Yeah. Every
What do you
game.
think about the team?
Yeah, good that they have become 2 times champion in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, that's they made history. They've written history now. So and I can imagine, for the people over there, they must be super proud, because I remember when I used to play there, they said, if you guys win, the whole of West Java can have a good sleep. So I used to think about that. Then I always thought like, okay, that's funny. I just scored and we won 1-0. And now everyone is sleeping better because of this. That's so.
But because
it's funny.
How does it feel like playing for? I think it's the biggest team in Indonesia. If you look at the number of fans in real life on social media.
Yeah.
How is that like pressure wise?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty stressful, especially when when things go the right way. It's easy, because you get so many compliments and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But if you are not performing, then sometimes it can be very difficult, especially with social media. I mean, that's the downside. You also get thousands of oh, you're so shit, like they say buntut.
Buntut?
Buntut. So it's very bad. And you have to be strong in that way, because you can't you cannot only have the good days, but also the bad days, and if it bothers you too much, then your mental state goes up and down. Yeah, that's a difficult thing of so many people following you, and everyone has their opinion, obviously.
Yeah. So do you still interact a lot with the fans?
Yeah.
How do you call them already? The
Boboto.
Boboto.
Yeah. I'm a Boboto nowadays as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course. I follow them always. I try to follow the games. I can't watch all the games directly, but at least I follow the score. And I'm always hoping that they are successful, because I know how important that is for West Java and Bandung.
Yeah. What was the most memorable match? You played?
Most memorable match.
You look back?
I
We
guess.
played 2 periods, right? For
First 1 year.
Yeah.
And then
Why did you leave after a year?
I left because
I was just seeing something in his eyes. Am I going to tell the real story?
No, I can. You know what I said is that players always look after themselves and put themselves first. So I made a decision back then that I was on the last away game in Papua, in Wamena. So that's like you fly to Papua and then you have to take another plane, a small one, going over the mountains in a valley where you cannot come with just by car or bus or whatever. You have to fly in like a small plane, and the how you say it, the landing strip is like
really
short, small sand. The sheeps are walking over there. And so you land there, and we came to that pitch of the stadium. You can imagine the stadium. The city is like a couple of 100 or 1,000 people, like nothing. And there was only one hotel, and there was okay, nothing bad about that. But then we came to the stadium, and I thought like, are we going to play here? Like patches of sand and mud, grass this high, sheep or goats walking on the pitch. I thought like, nah, this is not possible. And back then I was like in my prime. I was 30 years old, and I did well also in Indonesia. I was scoring like a lot of goals, and then interest came from a Champions League club.
Asian Champions League, right?
Asian Champions League, sorry. Sepahan. And they really wanted me. So, I decided to go.
Yeah.
And, maybe a little bit disappointing for a lot of people. And afterwards, I also made my apologies, especially to the people who really helped me over there, like Pa Haji Mukhtar, who that's like the dad of Persib. Like I don't know, maybe you have seen him. He's always wearing this hat. Yeah, he's like a family to me, and he helped me a lot. His family also, and afterwards I also apologized to him that I made a decision, and I was happy to come back again. And
you came back,
and I came back, and that was
for 2 seasons, right?
Two. So. That was the story of me leaving and coming back, and I was happy that I could enjoy the experience again for playing for Persib, because for me there's no other club, especially not in Indonesia, that comes close.
But what is there one match that you think?
Yeah, against Persija, my first season that I
is
scored.
That the goal you scored?
Yeah, from distance.
Yeah,
and the penalty.
Yeah.
And also with a little bit of help of the goalkeeper, but okay. No, and the one against Arema, that I also scored a free kick. We won 1-0 at home, and they were the Real Madrid of Indonesia back then, because they had like Christian Gonzalez, one of the top strikers back then as well. Greg was playing for the club, not at that game. Victor Igbonevo used to play there, and they had like all these stars, so it was a very difficult match. And I think one of my teammates got tackled, and I got a free kick, and just in one shot I scored the goal, and we won. And like people were so crazy that from the way back to our training center where we have our cars and stuff, it's like what 15 kilometers maybe, something. I think something like that. And it took like 6 hours, because everyone was standing along the road, and scooters couldn't drive, and they were just like waving to us and waiting.
But that's amazing, right?
Oh man, that was so amazing. Yeah. That was it's football is enjoyed in a different way over there. It has a different
for the people,
meaning.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but this is a positive way. But have you also been like in a military vehicle or something?
In this
Barracuda.
Yeah, Barracuda Panzer car. And
Which game was that?
also Persija, you come to the game in this Barracuda already in your, not in your gear, so you can enter quickly into the dressing room, and then after the game is finished, you straight go into the Barracuda, so not to the dressing room, into the Barracuda and go. Yeah, and also in Arema, in Malang, I had
How
it
was
also.
that for you?
Yeah, looking back, a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But it when you talk about it, it brings up memories. But it's not that I think like, oh, this is a crazy thing. But if you are in the Barracuda, man, you hear the stones like boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like if that hits your head, you're.
Yeah. But you were talking about stars on the other team. But you remember that Michael Essien?
Yeah. I used to play with him as well. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And he's such a great guy, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I saw that, I think it was Mark.
Yeah.
He was FaceTiming with Essien after they became champions again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's such a great guy, and also great that he joined Persib.
What a player to join Persib.
And we even had Carlton Cole. He's also...
the striker?
Yeah, the striker. He was in the same season, man.
Carlton Cole, he played for...
West Ham.
Yeah.
Also a pretty big guy that could score goals.
Who had you?
Yeah, but I ruptured my ACL in that season.
So you had Van Dijk, Cole, Essien.
Yeah,
Wow.
and Essien, that's the thing. He used to play at Real Madrid, whatever, AC Milan, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys can do, even though he's a midfielder, he can do all the things that I can do with the ball as well as a striker, like taking touch over the player and controlling it and shooting and everything.
He was world class, huh?
Man, that's like a couple of classes
I
above.
think in his prime he was probably top 5 midfielder.
Yeah,
in the world.
and you know what the greatest thing is, that you can hear his experience of the top level, not like a story from stories, but directly from stories from Ronaldo, from Mourinho, because Mourinho was like his dad, that's always what he said, he was a lot in touch with him. And then you can hear the stories like from, directly from him, man. Like even he said like, oh, Messi, I cannot defend Messi, man. He just knows that when my foot is from the ground on that side, he knows that he can go there and you can never catch him. So now, from Essien, how great is that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But talking about Bandung, we get a lot of messages. Neal, you should go to Bandung.
Yeah.
I think you would
recommend.
That?
Yeah, I would recommend you to go to Bandung.
So what should I see if I go to Bandung?
You should see Gedung Sate. That's their famous building. The building has like a tower on top that looks like what we call satay. The stick with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's funny. You have to go, I think, into the hills towards Lembang, where it's more fresh, and we have.
How's the weather in Bandung?
Yeah, a little bit cooler than the rest.
Jakarta?
Because it's the Dutch wanted to make that the capital, it looks like it's more fresh over there. So it's to live. It's a little bit better, I guess.
And how long should I go?
Yeah, for sure a week, I guess.
A week?
Yeah. To see everything, to
But can I also go 2 days?
Yeah, you can go 2 days, but you have to try some good food.
Yeah, what?
Local lotek or karedok. That's my favorite. It's like gado-gado.
Yeah.
A little bit similar, but less. The vegetables are cooked, but then less cooked, so it's more crispy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's and they have some local veggies that you haven't tasted before, I guess.
So, and do you say I have to go to certain restaurants or warungs or
do you have
I
would say Sidang Reret. I can give you some tips.
Yeah.
But
do you have still friends in Bandung?
Yeah, of course. What I said, like the family of Pa Haji Umu Mukhtar is still I'm still very close with. Every time I come there, I still visit them. Every time his grandson is like my brother from another mother. Yeah. So every time when I go there, I hang around with them and they show me around.
I was thinking like in between the games against China and Japan to go to Bandung.
Yeah.
Because last time I wanted to go to Bandung and then we ended up in Labuan Bajo.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Oh no, yeah, that's also. But there's so many things to see in Indonesia.
So every time when I go for the highway to a game of Timnas, I want to experience something else. So maybe this time it should be Bandung. Yeah. So if you're watching and you have any recommendations, let me know. And
you can go very quickly from Jakarta train, nowadays.
That's
man. Before I had to be in the car like it was like it's 120 kilometers. Sometimes was 3 hours, really, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes 7. It was crazy. And now it's like not even 45 minutes. You're in Jakarta.
And I think that's also really cool experience taking the train.
Very cool.
So let me know. And talking about food, I saw a little twinkle in your eyes talking about Indonesian food. Because you talked about the last time, of course, that you have a catering, Indonesian and Maluku.
Yeah.
How did that started?
My mother was always cooking. My grandmother as well, and she was always serving. At parties of Indonesian community, Moluccan community, Orang Maluku, because we have them a lot here in the Netherlands. Yeah. And then my mother took over, and it was already from a young age when I used to when I had to go to school and I came down from my bedroom. And then she was already cooking, man. You smell the garlic and the onion. And when I came to school, people would say, where are you coming from? So she was, what did you eat? You could smell it. So I was always, also when I go to football practice, I was always like, oh no, she's cooking again. But I didn't like it. And then years later, she also started to cater for people, for companies and birthday parties or whatever in regular Dutch companies and families, but not really professional, still as a hobby from home. And then me and my brother thought like, man, we can, how many people like this food. We can do it much more professional and nowadays with internet and social media you can reach a lot of people and we are doing now.
So the name of the company is
Amato. It means like safe travels or good travel.
And what's your role?
My role is sales. I have a large network within the northern part of the Netherlands to get in touch with people, because I also have my other companies that I still run. And so I already have this network of people that I can connect and introduce them what we deliver. So, and that's the easiest way to start. And my brother is a designer, graphic designer. Okay. So and he does with social media posting for other companies. So it's for him it's easy to do it also for our. So it's it's a good combination. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like having this conversation now
is that you are hungry. But next time I will bring you some.
Oh, Sergio.
Let's do that. Then people can see.
I have to do a shout out. I have to do the shout out to a company in Amsterdam, Proper Indonesia.
Yeah.
It's on the Vijzelgracht.
Okay.
I was there last week.
Yeah.
And then the girl said, highway podcast. But because I put it on Instagram and then her boss, he put it in the groups app.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he's watching probably. Yeah. So a shout out. It's one of the best places in Amsterdam to get food. And it's just 3 women who are cooking. I always say to them, make it a restaurant.
Yeah.
But they only cook. It's only a takeaway.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, so we also get the questions a lot. Oh, can you make a restaurant?
Are you thinking about it?
restaurant business is different business. Catering, we already know how many people, when and where.
True, yeah.
That's good for us. But we are trying to figure out if we can create a concept that people can also take away from us. So
I'm so hungry right now.
In that way, Indonesia is always the something that is always on my mind and in my life. And also with my other company, I have software developers from Indonesia that are working here in the Netherlands. Because I think there's so much talent in Indonesia that is, that needs to be shown to the world. And hopefully
people are so kind, and they have so much potential. And that's what I talk to a lot of people when I was in Indonesia. That's what I also think. I think that's a great thing that that people get a chance also to work in Holland. But the thing is, I don't think that people in Indonesia know how popular Indonesian food is in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it is. It's so
insane.
Everyone likes it. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. Especially satay with peanut sauce.
Yeah, peanut. Yeah.
Yeah, so satay with saus kacang.
Yeah. That's Now it's unbelievable. But if you could introduce one Indonesian dish to the world, what would it be? What's your favorite and why? It's difficult, right?
Yeah. Nasi rames, because I think nasi with all the different flavors that makes the difference if you compare it to for example the European cuisine. Like in the Netherlands, it's very bland. No, not a lot of spices, not a lot of taste. And I think if you have nasi rames, then you taste a little bit of all kinds of stuff, and that makes the taste of Indonesia maybe more complete than if I just pick one, because I like gado-gado or the Sundanese karedok, but I think for a lot of people maybe that's a little bit a strange dish. But if you say nasi rames with everything, the vegetables, meat, it's you get hungry.
Oh my! We have to stop, because I was thinking when I got a lot of invitations now when I'm going to Jakarta.
Yeah, of course.
Nasi padang.
Oh yeah.
Do you have one advice for me eating that?
Yeah, no, that's also good.
It's spicy,
no, you can choose your own thing. That's nasi padang.
I'm going to eat with some of my. I can already call them my friends. I met them once, but they're already my friends in Indonesia. They're taking me for nasi padang.
Okay,
and we're going to play some football.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a great time.
That's fun.
So a few more questions.
Yeah.
This is a difficult one. Don't get mad at me. It's Ganes. If you have to choose, who's the best former Timnas striker? Bambang Pamungkas? Or Boas Solosa? Sorry.
No, I would say Bambang.
Yeah,
for me that's the icon.
He's the
icon
goat.
of Timnas. Yeah.
Right.
I remember that before I became international of Timnas, I was on a trip to Indonesia, and 2007, I believe. Okay. And not knowing that one day I would be playing there as well. So 2007, I was 24, something like that. Yeah, 24, 25. And I watched the game, I think it was Indonesia, Jamaica. Empty GBK stadium, not that many people. And I saw Bambang Pamungkas playing, and I thought, oh, that's a good player, man. So, and obviously I saw him on YouTube as well. But that was so funny that 3 years later I was playing there myself. But at that moment I didn't even consider that to be an option.
I watched some highlights from him.
Yeah. He has all the attributes that
really,
you need as a striker. Scoring ability, calm. He's calm in front of the goal. He can header, shoot. Yeah, for me he's the GOAT. Even though Boas is also a very good player, I always wondered, like, okay, what if he moved to Europe and played over here?
That's what I really think about Rido.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should.
Like, he's a defender, but I think I think he can get really far in Europe.
Yeah. So I guess Oxford would be his next.
Maybe. Yeah. But like, this is a different discussion. I always go on about Rido.
No, I agree. I don't know if you've seen his goal a couple of weeks ago.
No. Yeah.
He defended in his own.
Oh yeah,
in
no,
his
yeah,
box,
yeah.
and
Of
then
course,
he
that
dribbled,
one.
and
Yeah,
then
and
he. It's
no, but he has so
unbelievable.
much talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So other news this week or last week, Simon Tahamata, Ajax legend, former Dutch international.
Yeah.
He's from Maluku.
Yeah.
Is now the head of scouting of Timnas.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, good choice. I don't know exactly what his role is. I guess.
I think he will be overseeing the scouting department.
Yeah, but in Indonesia or in Europe?
I think we'll hear more about that. Yeah.
But I guess it's always good to have people with experience in football and also in international football to be in these positions. In saying that, I also have to be. I'm very happy to see there's also development in Indonesian football on that side as well, like with the Garuda Academy. I don't know if you've seen
so
it.
Cool.
That I was also in talks with them, but
really?
to do something for them, but it's online, offline. So and in my schedule, it's too difficult. But some former players are already joining.
I did the interview with Pak Erik.
Yeah.
The last time I was in Indonesia, and he was telling me about it.
Yeah.
I think because I think even people who are listening to this podcast, I don't think a lot of people in Indonesia really know what PSSI is doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because everyone, of course, is focused now on Timnas.
Yeah.
But what they are doing with youth development, grassroots, women's football, the Garuda Academy, the stadiums, getting the stadium safe, referee development.
No,
there's so much going on, you know.
And that's the focus is now mainly on Timnas senior, but there are so many other things
of course,
going
with the
on.
under 17s, we qualified for the World Cup now.
So I'm happy to see those developments because as you can see in Europe, there are many former players that are in certain positions in the clubs because they know how it feels to be in those positions, to be on the pitch and how things go.
And now if you see Simon Tahamata, Jordi Cruyff, Patrick Kluivert, a lot of experience, you know, they're bringing to the table. I think that's a good development. So, yes, let's do a prediction. What do you think? Against China at GBK.
I think they will win 1-0.
And then against Japan in Osaka?
I would say realistically very difficult, but in the position that Japan is in now, that they could say like, oh yeah, we are already into the next round, let's take it easy. There might be maybe a possibility of a draw. But that's me being very positive,
At GBK, Indonesia played really well, the first half against Japan. I every time I see the chance of Ragnar. After like 8-9 minutes. But I'm too afraid to look again, already talk about the games against Japan. Because, I just think win against China in October, phase 4. You qualified for phase 4. I think that's so important. But of course, people dream and
Yeah, you know, in football, things can happen that you don't really predict, you know, and that's always the good thing. That's first things first.
So that's right. So normally we do a little bit of lessons in Bahasa Indonesia, but this time you're going to teach me Bahasa Sunda.
Yeah, Bahasa Sunda, because that's where I used to stay in Bandung, and that's the Sunda region.
So if I go to Bandung,
you have to say Kumaha Damang.
Say it.
Kumaha Damang.
Damang.
Yeah. Kumaha Damang. So how are you? Or are you good? Yeah.
Okay.
And then if they ask you, you would say Damang.
Damang.
Yeah. You answer.
Kumaha Damang. So that's not apa kabar or anything.
No. Yeah, it's similar, but they have their own dialect. Yeah, it doesn't look like.
No.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Kumaha Damang.
Kumaha Dahang.
Damang met de M.
Kumaha Damang. Kumaha Damang.
Yes.
Kumaha Damang.
Yeah. And if you say thank you, you say Hatur Nuhun.
Hatur?
Nuhun.
Hatur Nuhun.
Yeah.
Hatur Nuhun. Okay, I'm going to write these down. So if I'm traveling to Bandung, that I know what to say.
Yeah.
But before we finish, thanks again, and Rexona, the partner of this podcast, and Yeah, you guys know it, huh? The big match is coming up. Timnas is ready to get back in action. Intense training, pressure, heat, and sweat on the pitch. There's no room for distraction. That's why I count on Rexona's 72 hours non-stop protection that keeps me fresh and cool match after match. Now it's your turn to bring the same energy for the next match. Support Timnas to the fullest. Show your support loud and proud. Stay fresh and confident with Rexona, because real fans don't quit and Rexona freshness won't let you down. Lanjut, Terus, didukung Timnas, apapun yang Terjadi Bersama Rexona. Prof Haye Approved. Was this the best one?
Yes, you learn very quick.
No, and then no, yeah, but like we could do this for hours. Next time, because you started talking about food. I'm so excited to get Indonesian food. We should do it. We can do it in Assen or in Amsterdam, and then we should get Thom also involved.
Yeah,
and
I would like to meet Thom in person as well.
Yeah. You're the second time. You're the first guest who's returning.
Oh yeah.
The first
thanks.
one, Another. So you should be a regular.
First time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, likewise.
Please let us know about Sergio, how you enjoyed the podcast, and for the people, if you are watching it, just drop us a picture, and you can also text Sergio. Where are you watching it? How are you watching it? So we're getting always really cool pictures. Next time we'll be back with Thom in the kitchen, and of course wishing you all the best for the upcoming weeks, and until we see each other again. And then I have to say, normally I say, Thom says, don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media, and see you next week. But I'm going to try to do it in Bahasa Indonesia.
Also, okay, nice.
Jangan lupa subscribe dan follow kami di media sosial. Sampai jumpa minggu depan.
Good. Yeah? No mistake.
No mistake?
No mistake.
So now we're going to finish. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in Jakarta. Bye-bye.